Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where Alaf is in fine shape. You look in fine shape,
I'm in
young man,
great shape.
for the type of treatment you're having.
No, I'm good, Nick, James, and no problems.
Colour's good.
Yeah, colour's back. Have a look. Good-looking boy back. Tall, dark, and has been. I'm back.
Yeah, I heard you had a bit of a function here on Friday with all those expos.
Very good for charity, and it's a wonderful cause. A lot of them came down and had a few drinks at the races afterwards, but Johnny Latch and his group do it for charity. There were 1,200 presents for the kids brought, at the function, and 620 people from most of the major sporting codes.
They're amazing, because what they do is they have this function and they ask you to bring a present wrapped, don't they? For a certain value.
A boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl.
Any value you like. They don't just wrap it if you can, and 350 Rand a head gives you free drink and free food. It's a great deal. Then you have the comedians like Joe Parker was there. We had Hugh Bladen interviewing John Mitchell. Yeah. Outstanding. Everything that they did was very good. And the crowd, you could hear a pin drop in these guys talk. Very good. And
no one's rowdy when you're emceeing it, because you're normally the MC. Normally at every function you go to, they're rowdy, but this function they're well behaved.
No, they're very well behaved. They're all sportsmen. All sportsmen.
Well, they respect you as a
lot of discussions, funnily enough, about the future of the Springbok coach, the incumbent at the moment, or two beers, Heineken Miller.
Yeah, Heineken Miller.
Heineken Miller.
And what about? I hear the English are going to make the right move. We should be having him. Jake's going to.
Yeah, I hope he gets the job, because he's a good guy, and he's
a great coach. He's the best coach around.
Yeah, he's a great coach. I'm hoping people like him and Mallet and even Mitchell should be coaching.
Yeah.
They should be coaching.
Well, we've got Mallet and Mitchell sitting on the sidelines, and they're both great coaches.
Great coaches.
And they're
so
using...
Mitchell. Mitchell's got the highest strike rate for the Eddie All Black coach.
Yeah.
The highest winning rate. It's amazing. He got fired after getting beaten in the semi-final, I think, to Australia. Yeah. And that was the end of him.
And we didn't get beaten by Australia. We got beaten by the ref. That's what happened that day. You remember?
My mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was his name again? Bryce Lawrence. I met him. I met him 2 days after he kicked South Africa.
I gave him a flat hand.
He's probably the size of Dave Burns. He's a little guy. He was with Barnes, him and Jonathan Kaplan.
Even more reason to give him a flat hand. He's got small man syndrome. Show what big guys do to small man.
That same year, he was voted Kiwis Ref of the Year.
Oh, okay, well, listen, we're under a bit of pressure. We're getting
no British football, James. We've got to talk rugby.
We're getting chirped in our ears. We've got to move on, and we're going to be looking at emails today. We've got some great emails and some great pictures that have been sent through. You'll have some fun with them, and we'd like to keep the pictures rolling. But let's go and have a look at the three to follow.
Dad, distorted humor, he's probably one of his best sons at stud.
I'll have another, wins the Derby. Lilacs and Lace, 48-1, upset.
He's just a big, strong, leggy horse.
Well, there we go. Let's go and have a look at the first one of our three to follow. We go to Turfentine Tuesday, the 10th of November, and it was a maiden plate, 1,160 metres. This horse that we picked up here has obviously had problems. Clinton Binder trains us by O'Reilly. O'Reilly is a champion sire in New Zealand. Yeah. This horse has got to go more ground in this lap.
Yeah, this is a very good debut.
Yeah, let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, here he is. You can see the draw that he's going to come out. It's his debut run, and he's
What's his name?
Mutakayev, and he's quite briskly out the gates. You can see him 5 off the left. Your hot favourite's 3 off the left, who was a little sluggish, but we had tipped you this horse before, Suyuf, who had run second to Brazuca first time out, and looked the horse to beat. But the horse we've highlighted this time, Mutakayev, is in the orange, just edging into the lead, and going at a good pace up there with horses like Ashkenazi and King of Cloth.
Yeah, he's certainly lobbing along, shows that he's got a lovely action, and probably will, as we say, will be much more effective over more ground. But they run it in a good time. Carl Zechner rode this for Clinton Binder, and a little stable to get a nice horse like this. Let's hope this horse goes on and does it for him.
That's right. It's a very good debut. He's gone hard from the jump in the 1160. He now shakes off the other pacemaker in the orange with him. And Waishong Mowing at the favourite here. And for a strider too, it's a bit of a race. That's what impressed me about this debutant. It's a very good one. Mutakayev runs a great race behind Sir Youth.
Yeah, nice to see Mike de Kock back in town, and he's stepping them out, and Waishong, the old school, back together again, so that's good to see. Wednesday the 11th of November, let's go and have a look at Kenilworth, and my goodness, this was a good debut. Vilakazi, nicely named by Visionaire. Brett Crawford trains it. Got beaten by the good thing Cape Laddie, but watch where this comes from. It walks out the fence.
Falls out of the gate. Yeah, it's absolutely lost. It falls out the gate, and Vilakazi, named after the great street in Soweto, which threw out 2 Peace Prize winners. But Vilakazi's way off the pace. The pace is on early when Midnight Intruder's going out there. Kado, they're showing good pace, and not too far off them's your winner, Cape Laddie, who runs in the yellow and black.
Well, this horse is stone last at the moment. If you look on the left-hand side of your picture, that's Vilakazi in the grey colours. And it eventually gets a split and runs through them on the outside of them. Cape Laddie is gone to go and win the race, and there's Cape Laddie in the famous Kaya Stables colours, yellow and black. And Vilakazi's right in the middle of the pack now in the grey colours with his head turned one side, slightly one side. He eventually comes outside Cape Laddie. Here he starts switching out. Cape Laddie goes to go and win the race. He's still got 6 or 7 and 8 in front of him, Vilakazi. But my goodness, does he make up some ground?
Yeah, this is a sparkling run. He gets that split now. And just as the commentator was saying, the Cape Laddie's coming up to win it convincingly. This horse quickens up beautifully.
Very, very impressive. And on that run, you'd expect this horse to go on and win some races. That was very impressive indeed. Let's go and have a look at the next one, and we're going to Turfentine on the inside track Thursday the 12th of November. Let's go and look at race 4, maiden plate for fillies. Now the winner is super impressive. This filly we picked up ran second, is also very impressive, and the third filly looks like a decent filly. This is 3 fillies that might go right through to the top. I like the way they ran. And have a close look at them. Let's go and pick them up there at the 1200 metre mark on the inside track. So draw is important, but
in the Ulster colours on the outside. The horse that bumps is your eventual winner, Trip to India, who drops off them and runs a very good race. The Trip to India had found a lot of support, which is lost. But the horse in second is Invincible Flame, beautifully bred horse for Michael Leaf. And the horse we found is in 5th in the Ulster colours by Dynasty. So we've got a well-bred 3 that dominated the betting market.
Yeah, the Trippy filly is, I think, the first filly that Drakenstein have given to John Foss. John Foss is a very, very good conditioner in Joburg. And this is her first run. She's out of a Gulch mare, and Gavin Larina rides her, and she's now stone last. But you'll see the filly we picked up, Winning Sister, is about 4th in the Ulster colours with the black sleeves. But watch the way this filly quickens up Trip to India. She just walks past them. Absolutely makes them look like they're frozen, and goes to win a good race. But we think the second filly certainly didn't get much of a shove here, and she's just being pushed along by Andrew Fortune. You'll see that she'll come on now. You ask her to quicken up, and she runs a very good race.
Yeah, the winner's very impressive here, Trip to India. But so the second and third horses, these are sparkling debuts. Gets up for second, our horse Winning Sister, and as James says, all 3 of them look very useful.
Yeah, those are certainly 3 very nice fillies, and it's wonderful to see that they're stepping out these horses by champion stallions, little stables getting a chance. Joe Somers and John Foss, both very good conditioners.
Very good. There's a lot of very good trainers in Johannesburg, and you've seen it over the years. Give them the horses, they will produce the goods.
Yeah. So we'll have a look at those 3 and see what happens with them. We've got Summer Cup coming at the end of the month, so we're going to have a look at the Summer Cup in Blast from the Past.
Open, soft falling rain, put it clear. Soft falling rains won the SA Nursery by 3.
Racing in the 2000 Guineas. Gates fly and they're racing in the Godolphin Mile.
They're off and racing.
Weight didn't matter. Class tells, soft falling rain, much too good. Soft falling rain, an impressive Guineas winner. Soft falling rain is drawing clear.
He's made it 7 out of 7 by winning here today.
But it's Soft Falling Rain, who is powering away, will see out the mining style. A high-class performer wins the Nay of Joel Stakes.
The first running of it, they fired away from the 2,000 metre marker, and Ingleside, he missed the break that could be crucial to his chances. Norfolk Realm began smartly along the inside of Star Defence. Top weight Classic Flag is right there amongst the leading line. Gold Tax is making progress up on the outside in search of a better position, and Karaka One is going with him as they settle down to race now down the back stretch, and that's Norfolk Realm, number 15 Saddlecloth with the white cap, Brett Smith doing the bidding. Just behind that is Karaka One. He's overcome the 20 draw to race just 2 off the fence. Classic Flag along the inside, Fort Defiance, the Oppenheimer Silks creeping closer to the leaders. Gold Tax is climbing all over to them, about 3 lengths off the pace. Then came El Pitcher, trapped on the outside of Elegant L. They were followed by Philonicon, and back along the inside of them was Queen's Consul. They're racing by the 1200 now, and Norfolk Realm is out in front and has the lead. He has it by 1 length from Karaka One in second. Top weight Classic Flag just a length and a half back in third. Then came Fort Defiance. They were followed by Star Defence. Just in behind that, it's Elegant L. Gold Tax is racing just 5 off the leader. Circle of Life is back towards their outside. El Pitcher is still trapped 4 of the fence. Philonicon saving ground along the inside. Further back Drumstar, and then came Queen's Consul. Clifton King is right at the back of the some handicap field as they come around that final turn with 800 to go. And Norfolk Realm set sail for home early to take them along by a half a length. Karaka One is racing away in second. Clifton King is back at the rail in third. He's poised to have a go at the leaders. Star Defence has got a dream run through along the inside. El Pitcher and Brutal Force are up the outside. Fort Defiance is also starting to stake his claim. Circle of Life at this stage has got about 3 to go. I'm looking for Young Rake. He's also got about 3 or 4 lengths to make on the leaders. But could this be a dream year for Robbie Hill? He's out in front on the Rothmans July winner, El Pitcher. Drumstar, the diminutive Drumstar is reeling in the leader. El Pitcher and Drumstar, but Robbie Hill is going to win the summer handicap. He won the July, he won the Gold Cup, he wins the summer handicap. El Pitcher has won it from Drumstar in second. Queen's Consul ran third. The favourite Fort Defiance was back in fourth.
Yeah, not a great race for me. I always went wrong in the race, finished last, but and I beat most of these horses before.
Yeah.
But
El Pitcher was a
just
very
shows you
good
El
horse.
Pitcher was a champion.
Very good horse, and Pakistani jockey rode it, so that was very impressive.
Who rode it?
Robbie Hill.
Oh, Robbie Hill.
Robbie Hill. Robbie rode a lot of winners in his time, and he timed this perfectly. Beautiful ride by Prince and Jeff Woodruff's horse. He won 2 Julys.
I think Robbie Hill rode him in one of them as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Correct.
Robbie
Correct.
Hill. I see Robbie Hill out there riding work in the morning.
Is he getting back on the horses?
Yeah, he says he's got to ride them. He says he's got to. They need help from the saddle. I said to put Shannon on.
Yeah, put Shannon on. Yeah.
Give him some help. But Summer Cup coming up at the end of the month, and there's a long log out there, and
It's always a great race.
Should be great fun this year because it will be
A
very
few horses
competitive.
have thrown their hats in.
Very,
It looks
very competitive.
Very competitive, I agree.
Right, we're going to move on and have a look at Plum of the Week.
Top of the lane, La Chitana, the leader. Miss Brody, the first one to challenge. Augustina on the outside. Down the inside, Delan, Stephen, Minnie the Minx, then Zara, the Princess. La Chitana still goes. Miss Brody tries to close it down over the last 200. And it's La Chitana who's still clear though. La Chitana's going to take some catching. Miss Brody tries to close it down. Down the inside, Zara, the Princess. Augustina, the outside. But it's going to go to La Chitana. La Chitana won it. Miss Brody second. Zara, the Princess third. Augustina ran fourth.
Well, you've got to follow stables that are in form, and Tony Riverland is in cracking form at the moment, isn't he? And
Absolutely. Him and Cookie Whitehead, they can saddle up anything.
They're just rolling at the moment. There are a couple of other stables going quite well here,
Yeah.
but they're the two.
Terry's doing well.
Yeah, Terry's doing well. It's It's a bit of a run here. Canamel, well, I don't think he had quite that evening on or yesterday. But anyway, got Black Agate Dead Heat. That looked very close, didn't it?
Didn't he have another winner on the day?
Yeah, but it just shows you 2-1, 5-2, as much as you liked on Interbet about this looked an absolute certainty, La Gitana. They reversed, went back to the poly track. It was the right horse. We picked it up. We think that you should have had a bet, and if you didn't have a bet on Interbet, that's where you got to be. Interbet's the place. And they've got this new deal going now. I think we mentioned it the other day, which I think is great. You have a bet on English racing, and you can watch the English racing live, and they've got every single meeting.
That's very good.
Yeah, so
very good.
You've got to get an Interbet account, Barry, and we're going to have a look and see what we've got in current affairs.
Bet on any sport at any time, even during play. From as little as R2, you too can be part of the action. With over 20 sports betting options, Interbet offers you more variety and the best odds. Go to www.interbet.co.za now.
There's Lineker again. He's got his fourth. Wow, this is extraordinary. Gary Lineker in the right place again.
There we go, and lovely to see that advert. You know, Lineker, ridden by Striker. He was a great striker for England. He was one of the top players around in his day.
Is
well
it named correctly? I thought his name had an A in it.
No, it's named correctly. That's Lineker. That's the striker for England.
Yeah.
Played for Spurs, played for Everton, played for a lot of good teams.
He played for Spurs.
Yeah, and a great striker. He played for England, and Lineker, well named by Michael Leaf. Yeah. He named him. He's got this horse.
Is he a Spurs supporter as well, Michael Leaf?
I think he is. Yes, Michael's
another poor. Michael Leaf, Graham Hawkins.
Neil Andrews.
Neil Andrews. Poor
Joe Sommer. These are legends of the turf who support Spurs, you know.
John McDonald.
Yeah, there's John McDonald was, huh? Yeah.
Great Spurs supporter.
Yeah.
Loves Spurs.
Well, let's get straight into current affairs. There were two feature races in the country, one down in Cape Town and one in Gauteng. The Gauteng one is we're going to show you first. Victory Moon Stakes, 400,000 Rand Group 2 race over 1,800 metres. Let's have a look and we'll talk about it.
From Rushmore River in second, Stonehenge is racing third. In fourth position on the outside is Deo Giventi, followed by Prince of Orange, Platinum Jet, and behind that Earl of Derby. Fulcrum in the red colours has got 8 lengths to make up, followed closely by Heavy Metal, then comes Double Clutch. Further back to As You Like, then Easy Lover. Behind that is Rampant Ice, got about a dozen to make up. Kingston Mines further back in the field. Then comes Judicial, Kalua Castle further back. Then comes White Line Fever. Yerman is at the tail end as they enter the home straight now, and they've got 500 metres to go. Alarms in front, down the inside Stonehenge. Moving up very strongly now is Deo Giventi about to pick up the lead. On the outside is Platinum Jet, and then Rushmore River. Deo Giventi with 300 to go has gone 2 lengths clear and is powering on here. Prince of Orange is down the inside, then Alarm and Platinum Jet. On the extreme outside is Easy Lover, but it's Deo Giventi. Young Cullen Murray has the advantage. Easy Lover is flashing up on the outside, but Deo Giventi, a classy win by 3. Second to Easy Lover, Platinum Jet, Alarm, then Earl of Derby, Yerman ran on.
Well, Deo Giventi, beautifully bred, trippy, had a circle of life. And Jeff Woodruff's horse, he put on young Callan Murray. James, he rode 3 winners in the day, including his first Group 2.
Very, very good. He's a very likeable young man. I think he's very professional since he's been since he started at the academy. He ran around, worked hard. kept his nose clean, and looked like a boy who would make
We've got some good young apprentices, especially a lot of them are based in Gauteng at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's some very good young
I
apprentices.
think they go to Gary Waterson. He just puts a gloss on them. They seem to, some of them, a lot of apprentices arrive there looking like they've got no hope. A guy like Colin Story, those type of guys there. And they've made it, you know.
Yeah, they're doing
turned
well.
Around and lost their
James
full claim.
Diagivente's thrown his hat in now for the Summer Cup. You know, he's
Oh,
captained
yes.
the ring. Marcus Ningrid, you're still well done to them. And Jeff Woodruff, who knows how to win that feature. He really does. So, but I was impressed with the Easy Lover. I watched it go down, James. Went down beautifully. He ran a good race from a long way off. And even the third horse, Platinum Jet, ran a good race. But the runner-up impressed me as well.
Stuart Pettigrew, he's taken the horse over from Duncan and
That's right.
Really done a very good job with
Very
this
good
horse.
job,
And
yeah.
Certainly, he never looked like he would stay this type of trip, Easy Lover. He always looked like he might be a miler, but now he's going this type of trip.
He's always been a very good horse, James.
Yeah,
And
so
they ran well.
it's good to see, and they all throw their hat into the ring for the big one, the Summer Cup.
Summer
because
Cup,
now
yeah.
these horses get into the Summer Cup.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they look like they were borderline, both of them. You know,
Yeah,
they
well, they're
didn't
both
look like
in,
they could get in. So there you go. But let's move on and go and have a look at Merchants. Was the other big feature in Cape Town. Now, bittersweet. It was a great win for Brahm and the team with Triptyque and Dennis's first win in the Cape this season. But you got to feel sad for Tevez. You know, he's won this race the last 2 years in a row. 2 years is in a row, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah. And he got beaten here from the outside draw, which might not have been the best draw, but anyway, he ran a cracking good race.
Yeah,
And just an update on Walter. Walter, apparently the leg's coming.
The prosthesis.
Yeah, it's coming in the next week or two. He'll be back on his feet.
Back on the golf course.
Yeah. Well, they tell me the leg's got a few attachments.
Yes, it's got a divot corrector. It fixes
Divot
divots.
remover, divot fixer.
And you can read the green.
Yeah. Well, with the leg.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
you
you
just
can tell
put
you
it
the
out there.
contours. It's
It's
a
got
very
a-
good prosthesis.
Yeah.
GPS.
Yeah, GPS.
How far have I got to go? You can stick it out there.
Yeah. So
No, well, we're good to see
has
Walter
it
back.
got one of those things that you can kick the ball out the rough, because that's very important.
Yeah, that's
you know.
that's on the side, James.
On the side, yeah.
You don't see it, but it's on the side, and you know you like a bit on the side, so it's on the
Yeah.
side of the shoe, James, and it'll be great for Walter. So Walter's getting stronger every day. Walter, we're waiting to see you. I'll hopefully see you down at the sales this weekend. We got the CTS
Yeah,
sales.
apparently he said he's going to be there. He was at the stables, been at the stables a lot. Went to the races on Saturday to see his favourite horse Tevez run.
Yes.
And he's done an unbelievable job as Bass with this horse. It's
Yeah,
just,
he's a stable with bang on form.
Yeah, bang on form. They've done really well under very trying circumstances. And Carol's birthday today, so happy birthday!
Happy
to her.
birthday, Carol.
Yeah.
Many
Yeah.
more to you, Carol.
Yeah. And
No, they've done a great job. The team, his daughter, his son, they've all got stuck in, and the assistant trainers. He's got guys he's had for years, and they're an outstanding team down there.
yeah,
Let's go and have a look at the race. But the race was a success. I'll try that again. A success for Brahm, his partners, for Dennis Dreyer, and Dennis organised Sean Veal to come down. Could Sean had elected to ride Generalissimo, who runs a very good race as well. Let's have a look at the race.
Break is on the heels of the early speed behind that Zambezi River as they head past the 600. Stand side, it's Astar that leads them from Accelero, Mr. Matchett and same jurisdiction. Generalissimo racing in the middle, right down the inside it's Double Whammy. Then we find King Vault getting into the fray with Gulfstorm. Line Break is also getting going. We're into the final 300. They found across the track. Generalissimo, Line Break gets going. Triptyque up the outside. Then we find Tevez on the outside also being set alight. Down the inside we got King of Pain. It's Tevez that's coming at Triptyque up the outside. Triptyque with these in front. Up the outside it's Tevez. Triptyque and Tevez, these two. Triptyque gets it. Triptyque from Tevez. Zambezi River, then we had Gulfstorm on the inside.
There we go. Triptyque winning and bred by our mates.
Benny.
Yeah, Benny and
Benny
Bhutanzuk.
and Chris. Yeah.
Benny and Chris, well done to them. They bred Triptyque, and Brahm stuck his hand up and bought it, and Sean Veal flew into town to win in it. So well done to all of them. And
But
Tevez, great run. Zambezi River, good run.
it's interesting that Brahms rung in Billy to have a share in this. You know, Billy Henderson, our mate from Australia.
Billy.
Yeah,
Well,
big,
well
big
done to
bad
Billy. Well
So
done
good
to
luck
Billy.
for him. I think that's Billy's first group winner. And Johan Roche, who's their lawyer, I think he's he's involved in the team there as well. But fantastic for them, you know.
Brahms, the hits just keep coming for Brahms.
Good for him. You know.
Good for him. He puts his money down, and well done, of course, to
Sean Veal. Well done, Sean Veal.
Dennis Dry and Sean Veal. Yeah, Sean Veal flew to town. He had winners on Sunday. He's doing very well as well. And even the stablemate, Generalissimo, led for a long way and ran a good race.
Yeah, it certainly was some type of racing. But then they had big racing in PE and Johannesburg as well.
Yeah,
Jockeys International.
Yeah, that was great. I went and saw my good mate Pat Cosgrave, Patsy, and his
Where
wife.
did you see him?
At the races on Saturday.
Oh, were you there?
Yeah, I went up for a double clutch.
Oh, fantastic.
And, yeah.
Now, how's Patsy?
He's in great spirit and great form. He looks well. He's riding a lot of winners, James. He's going to a purple
He's
patch.
a top boy, Patsy.
Yeah, he's just one of those great guys. And his wife was in, and they had all the teams. It was well run. Neil Smith was in town with his wife, and they handled everything. Larry had got everything sorted out. It was a great success.
You've got to actually take your hat off to Larry. Larry Weinstein is the Jockeys International, and apparently under pressure, you know.
Yeah, it is a tough job, you know. It's hard to get people to tennises, but we had the benefit of seeing a great rider ending her career.
Hayley Turner, you know, to have a last ride in South Africa.
Yeah.
Incredible. And the second last race that she won by the shortest of short heads on a big priced horse.
I thought that lost. I really thought that lost.
You know, the Obas was smiling.
Was the Obas smiling?
Yeah.
Whoever the Obas is, he was smiling. And it was just a great day. Well done to the RA and well done to Phumelela. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I got to see these riders and the South African team, as we know. Unfortunately, young Blink Kumado got kicked.
Yeah, but he'll be back. He's back on Thursday. He says it's just a bit of bruising.
Oh, good.
So he's okay. And Anthony Del Pesce won the Victor Ladorum, so he was the most successful jockey.
Yeah, he was very good. He's riding so well, Anthony.
And South Africa won again.
Won again. I think we got their number for the moment. They're going to have to send out some more big guns to beat us.
Well, talking about jockeys, top jockeys, Pat Edry died during the week, you know.
Yeah.
It's the same age as me, so it's I worked in England and I watched him ride, and he was just fantastic.
He was
rider.
great, James. He was associated with some really good horses. I think he got onto Dancing Brave when they jacked off Greville
Starkey, yeah.
Yeah, Stinker Starkey when he lost the Derby. That was the headline. Stinker Starkey. Will your horse stay? He'll stay 4 miles. And he rode it like it wouldn't go 4 furlongs. Tailed off from at the back. So Pat Eddy came aboard, and James, he was synonymous with success.
Yeah, he was 11 times British champion, and the most famous race ever was Bastino Grundy. You know, you remember riding Grundy.
Those,
I think Joe Mercer was on Bastino and he was on Grundy, and that was the whole length of that Ascot Straight. These two went head for head in the King George, 1975 it was. Pat took out a trainer's license when he gave up riding, but his daughter said that, you know, alcohol was his demise.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame because he was a fantastic guy, and he got glowing praises from Oliver Pellissier, the French jockey, rode his only Group 1 winner for him as a trainer, and he wasn't very successful as a trainer, but he just was a great artist in the saddle, and it's really, really sad to have lost him.
James, artist in the saddle, Tony McCoy opened a hornet's nest.
He had a lovely time, Tony McCoy. That girl won the Melbourne Cup. And then he's a 20-time British champion. He turned around and he said, female riders should get an allowance because they're not as strong as men. Well, you can imagine they went down like a lead balloon.
Yeah. He didn't say it while you're still riding, because they'd have taken him off from one of those corners into a hedge. Keep your comments to yourself.
Let me tell you, they could put you through the hedge too. There's some mean
James,
and
are you and I going to keep training till we're 92?
Definitely, no doubt. If we live till 92, we'll be training. There's a guy in America who had a double on Saturday called George Handy at Gulfstream Park. He had 2 winners, 92 years old.
That's fantastic.
He's still strapping them, looking after them, doing the whole bit. First winner he had was 1946, before we were born. George Landy, he's still out there training, and it shows you. Look at Ormond Ferraris, you know.
He's as good as ever. As good as ever.
Good as ever, Ormond. You know, and he never misses a moment, never misses a morning, never misses anything. You know.
James, we had some interesting news with regard to South Africa. Is that do you remember the very good filly by Silvano, who had ran third in the Triple Tiara, second 3 times the Triple Tiara to Cherry on the top. Came down here, won the Will Avington James in great style, ran a close-up third to Heavy Metal in the Vodacom Durban July.
Yeah.
Well, she's just run third in Australia. Yeah, she ran in the zipping
Must have taken a long time to get there, because let me tell you, those Australians, they don't want to let anything in there.
Yeah, it ran third in the zipping classic, and it was very, very good to see that she's
That's
still
fantastic.
about. But Jeff trained her, and Michael de Broglie owned her.
Yeah, did they sell her to Australia?
I think so.
You remember we had Perfect Promise, I think was the other one.
Oh, we
went
had
to Australia
yeah.
and won lots of races.
Yeah.
Tracy's Element, I think she went over there. She came here and then went back there. So, our horses will hold their own anywhere in the world. And talking about horses, what about trainers holding their own anywhere in the world? Pat Shaw.
Well, he stood the test of time, Pat has, in Singapore. And he won the Singapore, was it the Singapore Gold Cup?
Gold Cup, yeah.
With a horse called Coupe Lardo, who's by Equal Stripes. And the Triple Crown horse was going for it. A horse called Step It Up, who unfortunately, blotted his copybook by not running a great race. But this horse was only it's only been with Pat for this year. I think it was with Doug Watson in Dubai.
Yeah.
And they sent it into Pat. And do you know the apprentice, Appy Shafiq Rizwan?
No, he's
Scottish guy.
No, he's got to have come from maybe a refugee from Syria.
Maybe, but he rode it. He rode a very good race, and well done to Pat Shaw. He's still sending them out, and he just won the Singapore Gold Cup.
Just on that, he ran 3rd, 5th, and 6th. He had 4 runners: 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 6th. This horse was Argentine bred, and I remember we got Pat. The first horses, I was involved in getting the first 15 horses he got for Fred Krabia from Argentina. And I remember when those horses arrived, Ignacio Poloski and I picked them out.
Yes.
And Ignacio and he still do fantastic business, and Ignacio organized this horse for him. And when they arrived, the Singaporeans said, Argentine horses are no good in this country. We've had them before, they're no good. You've got to be careful with Argentine because they're the best horsemen in the world. But those horses set Pat up. And he stayed in there and kept on buying horses from them. So it's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's done a great job. As I say, it stood the test of time. Yeah. Talk about horses having a tough time. The stallion Mutawaji, I was talking about it. Mark de Cox had a couple of them race and some useful ones. He's thrown a few good horses, but I was interested to note where he's standing now. He stands on the outskirts of Tripoli in Syria. Can you believe it?
Well,
the turbulent Tripoli.
Can't be bomb shy or gun shy.
No, he stands in Libya at the El Sham stud. And I thought, wow.
Would you like to stand in Libya?
Well, imagine you're 45 minutes away from a place getting shelled.
That's right. Not worried about bombs and guns.
Don't worry about mares. What's that noise over there? Yeah, so that was and James, the last thing I've got was the Cartier Awards. And the Cartier Awards are very good. And Golden Horn got the Horse of the Year. He's the 3rd Cape Cross behind See the Stars and Ouija Board to win this for the Stallion Cape Cross. But the interesting winner has to be a Simple Verse, James.
No doubt. Daughter of Duke of Marmalade. And it's the first time that a 3-year-old's won it since 1994. This award's been going 25 years, the Cartier Awards.
And James, it's a great feather in our cap to have Duke of Marmalade here, a great racehorse, arguably one of the best bred horses in the world, and stands in South Africa. That's fantastic.
It is absolutely amazing, and that he's produced a filly like this is just makes his value untold. How we got him is amazing.
Yeah,
and well done to Drockenstein. They've got a stallion roster today with Trippy winning all over the place.
They're waiting for their new one to come through.
Yeah, they got some beautiful horses. And
well done to them.
Well done to Gaynor and Johan. I know Johan's very involved in the horses. He loves horses.
Kevin Somerville must be as well. Yeah. He's the racing manager. So well done to all of them, and even our friend Ross.
Yeah. Ross,
they're all involved in this, and they've got really good stallions down there. But so that's all I've got on the international news, James.
I think that's about it. We've got it all covered as far as the international news. We're going to have some quite interesting features in the emails, and we're going to go into them in your call.
Mushriq's coming back for more. Fighting Warrior down the inside. Mushriq, Fighting Warrior. Fighting Warrior gets his battle armor on and he scores under Stuart Randall for the Ivan Moore stable.
Right, welcome to Your Call, another edition where we're going to go through the emails from the people out there, the fans out there, to talk about current affairs and what's happening all the time. But to start off, we've had one sent for us by Barry Dip, and we thank Barry. He sent out 2 photographs, which we're going to put up first. And here's the first photo, and James, it's your era.
Jock Sproul in the background. I'm not sure who the jockey is. But that's definitely Jock Sproul. He was the chief start here, and he was a tyrant.
Yeah, a military man, wasn't he, James?
I arrived here in 1977 with this little string for the winter season, and he got straight on my case. He was very, very authoritarian, and he ran it with an iron fist. And this guy Barry sent us through these photos, and he just says, "Hi James, I respond to your request for old photos which will bring back memories. How about this photo taken in the early 70s?" And that we'll see just now. And that's a father and son combination. Those were the days. The Passmores, Tinky Laravere, Jack Gorton, Les Hammond, and young trainers like Ivan Pickering, Claude Allen, and more. By the way, guess who was cutting his teeth at the Pickering stable then? Cheers. Must have been Barry.
Must have been me. I worked for Ivan Pickering then.
Were you?
I was down there with Claude Allen and his brother.
Systematic.
Yeah, Systematic was the great filly. Tinky Laravere. Yeah. He was down there for years. Jackie Gorton. I remember Les Hammond was the guy who gave Pat Lunn his start. Yeah. Pat Lunn worked for Les Hammond. Tony Riverland, myself and Mark Daly, Tracker Daly, all worked for Ivan Pickering in our town. We did as he says, we cut our teeth there. He had a horse called Tudor Blue, Tinky Laravere, who took on Bahadur and Gigantic and great clashes. Very good horse that Tinky Laravere had. And as you
Neville
know,
Pierce, I wonder what happened to him. He was around as well.
Billy Pierce, he's still about.
No.
Billy Pierce,
Billy Pierce,
He was one of the trainers. Terry Lowe started with Billy Pierce.
They were great mates.
They were down there, the Passmores. Tony Ruben actually did a stunt with the Passmores as well.
We'll have a look at this other picture. Let's have a look at the other picture there. Oh, no, that's a beaut.
That's a beaut, That's a beaut,
the guy on the right, I thought he was one of the best jockeys ever. They called him Big Race Joe Burns. Big Race Joe.
Yeah.
And he was at the races here the other day.
That's right. There's a photo of him and Kevin Shea. And then people are amazed at how much smaller he is than Kevin Shea.
Yeah.
And alongside him is his son, Dave Burns, who works for us at the moment. Dave's with us. And
Davey looks like he's just had a cut from the whip. Yeah. It looks like Joe's just put him into his place. He looks like he's got a bit of a sulk on his face.
Yeah, he said what the Albers just said to me, you know.
Pull yourself together, David.
Yeah,
Davey was very
they rode together.
Yeah, but Davey was very successful at
he was massive in America. In America, he ran second on Sea Patrol for David Payne in the Julys and Appy, Dave Burns. Then he went overseas and raced all over there. But his father, good to see him on the race course, Joe Burns. He was called Big Race Joe Burns because he was so successful a rider. So thanks very much to Barry Dip. Wonderful. Anybody else who's got photographs, old photos, bring them through. They bring back great memories for a lot of us in racing.
Right, we're going to move on and we're going to have a look at our next emails from Bruce Walker. He says, "Hi James, first off, great show. So glad we've got one supporter. Just would like to find out what happened about Pierce Stradham. He lost a race and said sorry, but he what happened to him? Did he get months? I think he got.
He did. Just to let you know, Bruce, that he's on appeal. The appeal will be heard. I was talking to him about it the other day, and he's sort of intimating that if it was an unfashionable jockey or an appy, they would have been put in their place and they wouldn't be riding now. So, but due process has to be followed. He's appealed the decision. And I think that comes up in December, James. I'm not sure the date. So let's wait and see what's decided there. But thanks for the email.
You've got to go through the process. And the point is that I think he was given a month, wasn't he?
No. I think it was, was it 45 days or 60 days at least?
Yeah. Well, he was given a time, and he's appealed against it. And we'll see what happens with the appeal board. Right, left.
Right, let's move on. Paul Johnson. I think we've got one or two from Paul Johnson, 1 and 2 after each other. So I'm an ardent punter. I live in Durban and I'm on the course every Friday and I love it. However, I have a suggestion. Please can I make a plan to give us the punter, who they're talking about, an opportunity to see and hear South African interviews after the race. Now, let's stop there for a moment, James. He's got a very valid point in the sense that those interviews are done. I know we normally have a full schedule for Teletrack to send out races. It's basically, Teletrack is a gambling station, a gambling thing. So they need revenue. They turn it over by giving people races to bet on. But his point here, James, is a lot of times people speak to a jockey early in the day and they ask him, how do you think you'll fare later on in the day with your rides? And we don't want to miss that. But Teletrack have been trying to get those little ones out. They do bring them back on, especially in Joburg. They show the cuttings of that. So I agree. I hear your point. He'd like to hear what the jockeys and the trainers say, James. And he again asked for a dedicated channel. Now, I know it's a no-no at the moment because of finances. And if we had our own 238 and a 239, he suggests us keep us all out of the dark. We can hear jockeys like... which horse is the best ride for a guy like Andrew Fortune? And then he finishes off with it on this other page, again pushing for another channel. He said we have to watch repeat programs and all that. He said, let's be honest, with jockeys like Andrew Fortune, and his info is priceless. Well, his info is priceless, but apparently he's in hot water. Yeah, he's
swearing on the
television.
He's as mad as a barrel full of snakes.
Yeah, absolutely. He is, but as he says, he does give invaluable information on his horses. He tells it like it is.
He can ride a horse and he tells it like it is. I did a classic interview once with him, and he's had a full go at Pierce Stratum. He said, "This guy can't even ride."
Yeah, no.
He said, I wasn't even pushing, and he couldn't get near me.
Yeah, I remember he loved having to go at Jeff Lloyd when he rode here. And one day, Jeff Lloyd and him fought out the Derby at Clarewood, and it was heads up, heads up. It was a great ride by Jeff Lloyd, a great ride by Andrew Fortune. They crossed the line, they couldn't be separated. Jeff Lloyd won it. So I said to Jeff when he came to the interview, I said, Jeff, here's a good chance to have a little dig back. You know, Andrew's been having to go at you for months, and you know, tongue in cheek and laughing. And he said in his interview, Jeff Lloyd, well, once we came together, I saw it was Andrew Fortune, so I put my stick away. So Jeff Lloyd had a go when he won the Derby. But we need a bit of banter out there, and it's wonderful to hear the guys having a little dig, because it's a tough profession. It's hard to get winners. But you got the next one, James, from Nikita.
Nikita Peterson. Well, being a firm believer in trying new things, I was excited by the announcement made by Graham Hawkins, who literally transformed himself to match a challenge as a newly introduced 2020 race meeting. My humble opinion, we tried and it did not work. Try and visualize the following. A punter viewing the horse in the parade ring, therefore he runs to the nearest TV to hear the trainer comments, then he runs to the queue to place a bet. Whilst waiting, he completes the tote coupon, bet on. Now he runs to the grandstand, view the race. In the interim, horses already being saddled for the next race. Repeat the process. It equates to nothing shy of a nightmare. To crown it all, when you night racing from other international centres. Therefore, with all due respect, leave night racing as it is, or like the well-versed Paul would say, let the straightest crow remain. On a serious note, please convey our best wishes to both Paul and Mike Bass. Nikita, well,
you know, James,
you give us your reading on that, and I'll tell you what I think.
I went and spoke with the CEO and Michelle Narek, and I spoke to Patrick Loke, and I said, how are the figures on the 2020 night? What are they like? They said they're very good. And they were up, in fact. So they were very pleased. There was always the concern that the races were coming out quickly. You might not be able to get the punters on, but the punters, they soon learn. It's like going to an auction. They knock them down quickly, you put your hands up. The guys do learn, and by all reports, it's a success, James.
I must tell you, I had 3 runners in a row the other night at the 2020. It went like clockwork.
Yeah.
I had no problem at all, and I think that it's a great, great concept, because there's nothing worse than standing around with 35 minutes between races, because we're trying to accommodate lots of other race meetings, which I understand. They've got to be able to bet on them. But this 2020 is fantastic.
Yeah, Dennis Bosch couldn't finish his dessert. He said he was a little bit rushed.
Well, you know why? No, I don't. But he couldn't finish his dessert. Did you see what he had? 2 bowls. Okay, he's got to fill that Jan Smatsevis. So he had a bowl of chocolate mousse and a bowl of.
I shouldn't have brought this up, Dennis.
Yeah, because he had a bowl of
ice cream.
No, ice cream chocolate mousse was, I count it as 1 bowl because I don't want to embarrass him. The other bowl was a trifle, okay? Yeah. And he was spooning it in, but then, Dennis talks as well, so it's quite difficult to spoon it in and talk and that, and you can see why he missed out getting this dessert done. But I think it's great. I love 2020 racing, and long may it survive. I think that, in fact, the shorter time between races... It's going to be about 3-4 times a year, that's all, James. That's the shorter time between races, the better.
Yeah, they did it with cricket. Not that we're trying to draw too many comparisons, but they went to the 1 day, and then they went to 2020, and they've managed to make them all work. So let's see what happens. But the figures are good, and the feedback's been pretty good on the 2020. Now I've got something here from Roger Scott, James. And... he said, hi James and Paul, a few years ago I had my colours and had small shares and horses from time to time. I've been a racing fan for over 30 years, and August this year decided to apply to become a Gold Circle member because some of my mates are doing it because I stay across the road in the Ascots. And with the amount of night racing, I thought it would be a very good idea. He tried to get someone to contact him, James, and no one has contacted me. However, I did hear from one at the board so that if they sit every 2 months, he's missed the last meeting, and he basically said no one got back to him, James.
I spoke to Mel about it, and she said unfortunately his application came in just after they'd sat at the meeting, and they've got to wait till the next meeting. But apparently he was in there yesterday. He is in hand, and he's getting his membership, and it's great to have new members, and we just wish him the very, very best. He says that
I know Roger. He's a nice guy.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Loves his racing. Been involved, as he says, for 30 years. But new applicants should be treated right. I agree.
I think that there might be a cause for us to speed up the process. It's not a big thing. You want to make a guy a member of a club, you can...
Yeah, sure. Just to respond to that, James, have X amount of members.
Yeah.
And you've got to have X amount of members. You've got to have a complete transformation balance too in your members. Now, but we have the AGM coming up in December. Yeah. So for guys who want to join and become members, I would suggest maybe wait till the AGM's over, the new board's in place, the new chairman or chair lady or chairperson's in place, and then submit it, to the secretary, to Dave Furness, and it'll come forward. All new members do come before the racing committee and the board, James.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
They've got to actually come before the board.
Yeah, they do come before
the board sits every 2 months.
Sits there and just goes through and says, yeah, no problem. It's invariably a straightforward process. But thanks, Rog. Thanks very much.
Let's move on. And we got poor handling of on-course competitions by Gold Circle. Paresh Maharaj. Now, I watched this and I agree with him. I must tell you, Gold Circle competition, in particular Friday night meeting, was handled unprofessionally. Vinay from marketing did the draw, and Graham, the CEO, to announce the names of the 2,000 Rand vouchers. Vinay pulled out a few tickets and threw some down on the ground without explaining reasons. This is unfair. This was also observed on Channel 239 during the Galloping Gourmet Festival on Gold Cup Day. It's fair and professional to get a neutral person to verify the competitions.
The point here is, and who's this from? It's from, is it Paresh?
Yeah.
Paresh, what happens in a situation like this? And I agree with you, the way it's done is very important. You've got the whole of the country watching, the guys just throwing forms out, you're wondering what's going on. But forms have to be validated. Vinny would pull them out the box and have a look if there's a question attached to it, that people have got the question right. And there's also a scenario now, if you have one already on the day, you can't win.
Win again, yeah.
Yeah, so that might have been the reason that he was discarding them like that. Again, he should say, sorry, invalid, sorry, you've won already.
Absolutely. So that's the whole point, I think, that Paresh has brought up. That when a ticket comes out the box, you go look at it and you go say to them, they haven't got the right answer or invalid or whatever, and then give it to someone else. But
we should let marketing know.
Yeah, we'll certainly give marketing this email and let them have a look at it. But I don't think there's any subterfuge.
No, there's nothing sinister there.
It really is just, it's a matter of they've got a certain amount of time, and I think that they're pulling out tickets and just going through them.
Yeah, but again, painting the wrong picture. Yeah. sorry, what did Spielberg say in my ear?
Night of the 2020s.
Oh, was it the night of the 2020? Yeah. Okay. Don't forget, guys, there's the big CTSL running. They're ready to run on the 20th, which is Friday, James.
Friday, yes. The Gallop's on Thursday.
Gallop on Thursday. Yeah. And I've seen the catalogue. It's a very strong catalogue.
Very strong catalogue.
Very strong.
As we said last week, there's my boy Charlie, and he won a group race in Australia the other day.
Yeah.
There's some very nice horses. And they gallop at Durbanville, don't they?
Yes,
and
they did before, yeah. I remember I helped out one year.
Did you
I
ride
got down there to watch, and
did
suddenly...
you ride one?
No, I didn't ride one. I just couldn't make the weight.
Okay.
I just had dessert with Dennis Bosch that day, I remember.
Well, that's
so
why you couldn't
I had
make
breakfast with Dennis Bosch, and we took part course, and we got there, and in the commentary box up there's this little hot container, and it was Clyde Basil who felt the heat there, and he was feeling a bit wonky. And I remember Gareth Pepper came and said, would I call them? I said, yes. I went up and called about 50 horses coming through. They were coming through in pairs, dead easy, walk in the park. But I was 4 kilos lighter when I got downstairs. It's
and
not
how
hot up
much
there.
lighter was Clyde?
When he got out of hospital, he seemed all right, you know. Yeah. He seemed all right. He seemed to have taken it.
So he survived the ordeal.
So
obviously not good in saunas, Clyde.
Well, I think you've got to go up and down if you're in that place, James. I don't know. What about Ravon and
Can you
Jahan?
have Ravon and Jahan in there?
Yeah. See, and it's the size of a phone booth. I think it used to be a hot phone booth from a sauna centre.
Yeah.
But you sit up there, you can't believe the heat, and you've got your catalogue in front of you, the horses coming down the track.
Maybe are you sweating?
You're sweating, and people think he must like this. He's sweating a bit, but no, that was the CTS a few years ago. I was the man in the box.
Well, I'm surprised they never offered you a job, you know.
I thought I was magnificent. Yeah. I'm still waiting, you know, to
well, there you go. I will have to speak to Chris Van Niekerk about it. But
Yeah,
I hope they have a good sale.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a good week's racing. We're building up, as we say, to the Summer Cup, which should be fun. And we'll be back with you next week.
Millions I've ever seen. Graceful Anna, the leader. Graceful Anna.